From Fenway nights to the Garden's roar, legends rise with the champions soar. On the ice, the Bruins fight for the crown. Drake May, the talk of the town. Ortiz's swing, the crack of the bat. Fenway's faithful tip their hat. Bray's legacy, 6 rings, pure gold. Gillette's a fortress where stories unfold. The Bruins battle, black and gold grind. Hockey heroes etched in time. Banner 18 up in the Garden skies. Boston sports where legends arise. The Celtics source where the bright lights shine. From Red Sox diamonds to the Pats front line. Bruins on the ice, breaking through the freeze. Celtics are champs and against they may please. Sit back and relax, sports are not lame. Your Celtic source back in the game.
Oh yeah, the Celtics have not lost at home to the Milwaukee Bucks since the 2019 season. What a win. Jayson Tatum was the proud father of the Milwaukee Bucks. Penetrating offense, suffocating defense in crunch time, and it's a regular season sweep for the Boston Celtics. So let's get this party rolling. Hello and welcome in to your Celtic source, home of your 19-4, second place Boston Celtics. The final score, 111-105. Chris Middleton was back for the Bucks in this game, coming off the bench. His first shot that he made, what a ridiculous shot. His 4-point play where he was fouled on that on a three-pointer with Hauser coming around a screen and getting him on that backside. I really hate those kind of shots because they actually don't affect the shooter one bit, because by the time the foul occurs, the shot's already out of his hand, and he can't see the guy coming around the screen anyway, so it's not like he's in his vision blocking it or anything. So they're just unlucky shots when that happens. Or lucky for the player making it, unlucky for the other team. Jayson Tatum had one of those shots, so I'll take that. I'll talk about that later, but KP was out. Right, Jayson Tatum playing in that. He took the night off against the Pistons, much needed, and we saw the performance he had tonight. Drew Holiday back as well, with, I think he was out for 2 games with a knee soreness or whatever. But I'm going to sort of start with Al Horford here, because Al Horford plays the entire first quarter. Something you rarely see from him. But, he loves these matchups against Giannis. Right? Al Horford's one of the only players in the league right now that is still able to, or has always been able to, slow Giannis down. You're never going to stop him completely, but to be able to slow him down is huge, right? And so I feel like he almost matches Giannis's minutes throughout the game. He played a season-high 37 minutes, and yes, he's not playing against the Grizzlies on that back-to-back, but still, I didn't know Al Horford still had that in him, but I guess gotta stop being surprised. He's always gonna bring something each and every night. And really, what we saw from Horford and the rest of the team was a second half performance, because the Celtics were actually terrible in that. I wouldn't say terrible, but they were bad in that first half. Right? Damian Lillard was hitting all sorts of step backs over Kata. He was really cooking everyone. 20 points for him in that first half. He had one play, can't remember, I think this was second quarter, where he was sort of bumped and dove to the floor and just threw up a circus shot that somehow went in. I mean, ridiculous. But anyway, right? The Celtics, they don't send double coverage. Joe Mazzulla is okay with them getting easy points in the paint, or sort of slow points in the paint, as long as it's not an open three, right? they're worried about if they send double, Giannis kicks it out and it's in open three. And that's how you can beat the Celtics. You have to match the Celtics 3-point shooting. And it helps when the Celtics were just terrible from three in that second quarter, right? I don't think they made a single three in the second quarter. And these are the sort of games where you have to win if you're the Bucks, because the Celtics shooting under 35% on the season or in the game, you have to win that game, because you know that's not going to happen again. And the Bucks just didn't have it. And that's partly because Jayson Tatum just took over in the second half. And he had to, because Peyton Pritchard had a terrible game. Yeah, he only took 3 shots. He just wasn't getting open. And the Celtics weren't doing a great job to get him open. You know, I think this is one of those games where it was just not the right matchup for Pritchard. Pritchard got switched on to Giannis a couple times, and Al Horford had to sprint across the floor to get sort of Pritchard and him to switch so Pritchard could be on Dame, which is a slightly better matchup. Just because Pritchard will get cooked by Dame if he stands him up straight. But if Pritchard's sort of putting his hands on him and hounding him, Pritchard can do a good job of slowing him down. So that, I don't know how Horford and Pritchard did an excellent job of executing that in real time and not allowing Giannis to kick it out to Dame when they switched. He did kick it out, but I think the shot was heavily contested. And, you know, you'll have to take that, because Giannis going at Pritchard in the post is just a layup. And then Jayson Tatum also had to sort of endure Derrick White's 0 for 8 shooting. I mean, he just didn't have it tonight. And there are a lot of other things he did well, but just not what we've come to see from Derrick White. Right? Especially in that fourth quarter where he missed a lot. But you know what? That's okay, because Jayson Tatum, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and a spectacular fourth quarter on both ends of the floor. Right? I mean, just guarding Lillard in that crunch time final 5 minutes play. When you have both Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Derrick White, Jrue Holiday all guarding the other team's top 2 players, and Lillard and Giannis can't do anything on their defensive end to stop those guys, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. And right, we saw Jayson Tatum. It was not only that, not only the scoring, but the playmaking. He had this brilliant sort of offhand pass on a pick and roll with Jrue Holiday into the paint for an easy bucket, where Holiday rolls off the screen, Tatum steps to his left, and then just absolutely sort of darts Holiday with a left-handed bouncer for an easy layup. So the playmaking from him, a couple plays where right he wasn't shooting great at the time, or he was in a sort of cold stretch during the game, and he took his matters into his own hands, went to the paint, backed down. I think it was Andre Jackson. He backed him all the way down, sort of lost the ball, but regained it, spun for the layup. Then a couple backdoor cuts for him as well. So, just brilliant from Jayson Tatum. And this is one of those games where he reclaims his MVP sort of campaign. Right? Like, he had that off game in Miami only 16 points, poor shooting, where we could tell he needed a rest day. And he refuses to give rest day, to take days off unless the Celtics force him to. So good job by the Celtics staff giving him that game off against the Pistons. And he came back refreshed and just absolutely took over. And I think, right, Tatum's one of those guys where we have to look beyond the scoring, because he's one of the very few wings, forwards that play both ends of the floor when he chooses to extremely well. All right, let's talk about the defense that he had on Lillard. Right, full court pressure. I think Brown had a play as well where he sort of got all up into Lillard's head, and Lillard was complaining as he sort of came across half court, sort of flopped trying to get the call. But Jayson Tatum just stood him up, moving his feet well, right? I think Lillard's always going to get a shot off, but, you'll take a ridiculous step back three, and he'll make those a couple times. Like his couple, I think he had a 4-point play as well. And then Lillard was complaining all night long about the calls that he was not getting on his iconic his signature get the guy to touch you and then go up and get fouled. And Giannis was getting those calls. He always gets those calls. And Jayson Tatum was sort of grumpy, but he wasn't showing it like Lillard, because Tatum wasn't getting the same calls as Giannis either. And so you like that, the maturity from JT to not let it get to his head, to take matters into his own hands, but in a unselfish way, right? Like, not he didn't go off for 33 because that's all he could get. He went off for 33 because his teammates, especially Al Horford, were knocking down shots and helping him out. Everyone except Derrick White and Peyton Pritchard had a good game. Right? Drew Holiday knocked down a couple of shots. Drew Holiday's corner shooting has been low this season. I think he's down to 38 after shooting 60% from those corner threes. So it's nice to see Holiday have a bounce back game. I think he's on the decline. Like, he's just not doing that much on that offensive end. He's still putting up great numbers defensively. Or not even numbers, just things that you don't see on the stat sheet. Like, sort of just penetrating defense, sort of contesting shots, those sort of plays. But I think he's struggling on that offensive end. And, it's okay right now because we don't need him. But Holiday did have a dagger shot to put the Celtics up 5 points with 25 seconds to go. Right? It came just after Al Horford hits a big three to put them up 3 with under a minute to go. Right? And so Horford hits the 3. The Bucks call timeout. Right? And so the Bucks come back down the floor. Jayson Tatum, I think, just absolutely hounds, I believe it was Lillard. Lillard misses the shot, trying to get the call, and Tatum gets the rebound, pushes it ahead to Horford, and Horford just hits the transition 3. Just poor defense by the Bucks. They didn't even get a single guy back, or they had one guy in the paint. I think it was Giannis who got back to the paint, and Horford's like, "Yep, I'll just shoot that 3," and just Horford just showing up when that moment's big. But then Holiday on the next possession, I don't remember what happened with the Bucks. Maybe it was a turnover. I'm not completely sure. But Holiday comes down and shot clock's winding down. There's like 5 seconds left on that shot clock, and Jayson Tatum gets in the paint. Giannis is right there, and so he kicks it out to Holiday, and Holiday sort of pump fakes the three. Not even a full pump fake, just a little movement with his hands. Chris Middleton flies by. He takes a step into the paint, sort of realizes there's only 3 seconds, and he throws up like a 12-point floater that was not even straight on. It was just like from an angle. And that sealed the deal. Because, I mean, I don't even, like, that's a hard shot. Like, much harder than people realize. To hit a floater sort of from an angle where you can't even see that square on the back of the backboard to line up your shot. Like, a 12-point floater looking almost like Curry out there. But, you know, that sort of goes in to the crunch time sort of performance by the Celtics. Just out-executing the Bucks. And that like, the Bucks should have that experience. But the Celtics just know a way to, like, finish games even when the rest of the night isn't going their way for the entire team as a whole, right? 16 points to only 6 points for the Bucks in that final 30 minutes of the game. 6 for 9 on field goals, and the Bucks went 1 for 12, right? The other 4 points come from free throws in sort of garbage time when the Celtics or when the Bucks were just fouling. And Holiday, that is one more thing I'll point out. Holiday had a magnificent play where, right, there's 8 seconds left on the shot clock, or in the game or something like that. And Tatum, Celtics call a timeout, advance the ball, and Tatum can't find anyone to throw the ball into. It's initially good defense, and so he throws it into the backcourt for Holiday to go chase. And Holiday evades, I think it was Green, who tried to chase him down and foul him. So Holiday evades him and takes off like 6 more seconds on that clock. So just a great job of evading the tag, getting time waste off the clock, and then by the time the Bucks foul, right, it's still a 5-point game, and they don't have a chance at that point. And then, right, 67% on field goals in that fourth quarter for the Celtics, only 8% for the Bucks, and 1 for 4 for the Celtics. So they didn't from 3, so they didn't shoot much. The Bucks 0 for 5, mostly Lillard trying to just heave up shots. And then the free throw game, Giannis missed a couple free throws. And then I believe it was Jayson Tatum, Al Horford. Al Horford had a shot with like 5 seconds left or like 2 seconds left after that Holiday foul where, that's right, they had like a foul to give or something, the Bucks. And so Holiday evades the tag. They foul him. He gets the ball into Horford. And Horford just, with the second left, just lightly, they're just running around trying to evade the tag from the Bucks. And Horford just taps in the layup with as the buzzer was going. Just a little showboating from him. Well, so I'm going to wrap this video up soon. Before that, I'll give a little look ahead to Celtics versus Grizzlies and next week. But the free throw game at the end, or the disparity, right? Giannis is going to get his free throws. Tatum didn't get many. Brown had a couple. Lillard getting absolutely none it's just interesting because I think Jayson Tatum and Giannis are on the same level in terms of calls they should be getting. So I just don't understand that. But all right, we'll look ahead here. Celtics, they're gonna play. Right, Marcus Smart's return. Ja playing at a all-star level as well. Right, the Grizzlies are good this year. I think they're 15-9, something like that. So good, solid record. I'm sure Smart will get his tribute. He's actually playing this time. Last year when he came to town, he actually was in street clothes, and so the tribute he could just watch. But I'm sure he'll be in some timeout this year when they show that tribute. So he'll have to look up, or maybe he won't even acknowledge it. We'll have to see. But right, it's been 2 years since we were removed from Marcus Smart, but his legacy is still strong here. And then next week, Pistons Wizards, those sort of makeup games from the NBA Cup. I don't know why they had to give the Celtics the two worst teams in the league. Well, the Pistons aren't the worst, but the Wizards are. Oh my, they are. They're gonna lose. I think they're gonna lose more games than they did last year with the Pistons as well. And I think the Pistons won. Let's see, they won like 67 games. Lost 67 games last year, and I think they're gonna lose more this year. Not the Pistons. The Wizards are gonna lose more this year than the Pistons did last year, which is insane, right? And so, right, the Celtics and Bucks sort of matchups are done. What a poor scheduling, right? If you thought the Celtics and the Bucks were gonna be two playoff contenders, why'd you put all the games against them in that first 2 months of the season? But I think that's partly because they were trying to get in that NBA Cup and whatever, but still poor scheduling. But you know, I'll be back after the Celtics vs Grizzlies game. Sunday, a couple more videos coming out about sort of grades for the Celtics and sort of same team awards a quarter of the way through the season. So that'll probably come out tomorrow. Sort of following the Juan Soto issue, sort of contract and signing. We'll see where he goes. Prices continue to go up with him. And then probably going to do a video where I just talk about Boston sports in general over the last year. Because some excellent things going around, Celtics championship, and then some not great things. So until next time, go Celtics.
Celtics source where the bright lights shine. From Red Sox diamonds to the Pats front line. Bruins on the ice, breaking through the freeze. Celtics are champs and against they may please. Sit back and relax. Sports are not lame, your Celtics are back in the game.